Never won this tournament. The Hex lives. Carson Kent win it. All right, our next beach volleyball telecast, the Old Spice U.S. Championships. That will be next Saturday and Sunday, live from San Diego. A reminder coming up next, Dream Team 2 goes for the gold in the title game of the World Championships of basketball. That would be live from Canada. The champions here at Seal Beach, Mike Whitmarsh and Mike Dodd. For Paul Sunderland, I'm Chris Marlowe. You know what time it is. Yes, the beach is now officially wiped out.
This is NBC's Sports World, and today it's brought to you by Miller Lite. Great taste, less filling. Can your beer do this? By Old Spice Sensitive. It's alcohol-free to take the heat out of aftershave. By Tinactin. If you want a medicine that acts tough, get Tough Actin Tinactin. And by Nestea. Why just get a little bit wet? Plunge into Nestea.
Health insurance. It's costing you and your employer big bucks, but this company cut costs and employees pocket the savings. Will it work for you? Get close, get answers on NBC Nightly News Monday. Scott Doney won the silver in '92. Then, one day, he froze on the platform. Why did fear suddenly cripple this champion? Can he make it back from the edge? Dateline Tuesday.
Want to look cool when you go back to school?
Then move it to Ross. Thousands of name brand and designer fashions are now at Ross at prices you'll flip over. The same clothes you'd pay a lot more for at department stores are a lot less at Ross.
If you're not shopping at Ross for back to school,
You're paying too much.
and that wouldn't be cool.
Don't wait. The time is now. This is the best offer you'll see on a new Ford Escort, the #1 selling small car in America. Now, for just $189 a month for 24 months, you can lease any of these 4 Escorts with just 10% down. For $189 a month, you get air conditioning, AM/FM cassette, power steering, driver's side airbag, and more. $189 a month, 24 months for a limited time. Drive a new Escort today at your local Northwest Ford dealer.
Next, Oprah, how to be a parent your child won't hate later.
Over the past 2 weeks in Toronto, the World Basketball Spotlight has been on Dream Team 2. And while they fell to match the dominance of Dream Team 1, this second set of NBA stars has shown flashes of brilliance.
You got to keep them separated.
O'Neal runs the floor, takes it all the way.
What an offensive show this is.
It's true that Shaquille O'Neal, Reggie Miller, and Sean Kemp have been the stars of this Dream Team sequel, but the collective focus has been on a single goal.
I'm really looking forward to capturing the gold medal and putting it back in our hands for years to come.
Today, that goal is within reach as the United States faces Russia in the finals of the World Championship of Basketball.
And now the team from the United States.
This is the Sky Dome in Toronto, the home of the Toronto Blue Jays, where there is a baseball season. And today, the site of the World Championship of Basketball gold medal game. This the scene earlier today, the United States squad arriving for this 8th and final game of the 11-day tournament. For the U.S., it has been 7 straight wins, following a shaky start with only a 15-point victory over Spain. Dream Team 2 came up with blowout victories over China, Brazil, Australia, and Puerto Rico. Friday night in the quarterfinals, they did not have an easy time with Russia, up by only 8 at halftime, but they went on to win by 17. And last night, they walloped Greece, leading to today's championship game. Hi, everybody. Marv Albert along with Matt Gukas. And Matt, as expected, the United States is here to play for the gold, but most basketball people felt that it would be Croatia going against the United States. Croatia, led by the likes of Tony Kukoc and Dino Radja, were upset last night by Russia. So it will be Russia against the U.S. And we talked about that with head coach Don Elson.
I think we're a little disappointed that we didn't get a chance to play Croatia. I think the guys were looking forward to that. I certainly was. We had all our work done on them, all our scouting stuff done, our preparation work. But that's the way it is, and now we're going to play Russia again, which means that they're probably the better team. I don't think we'll lack motivation at all, or it'll be more motivation because it's Russia. I think the gold medal is motivation enough.
Well, Don Nelson has been consistent in concerning himself with just his own team. But now Dream Team 2 has entertained most of the people, and they have antagonized some as well. But on a positive note, the two players that have gained the most from this experience have been Shaquille O'Neal and Reggie Miller. And look at Shaq's numbers, a point a minute and a gaudy 76% from the field. And nobody here has an answer for his overpowering play. And Reggie Miller, the premier shooting guard in the NBA, has made a mockery of the shorter three-point line. But all of these USA players have made the effort to work as hard as possible to come together as a team and win this gold medal, and that was the goal coming in.
And today they are going up against Russia. Russia came up with the biggest upset of the tournament last night by the count of 66-64 over Croatia, followed by this emotional celebration. And this is a Russian team, Matt, that had a very impressive first half against the United States when they met here on Friday night.
Well, Russia was effective against the USA because they do a good job of maximizing their strength. And their most potent weapon is their point guard, number 9, Sergei Bazarezin, getting into the lane, creating havoc. This guy can give you fits, especially when you can't put your hands on him to slow him down. And Kevin Johnson says that he is an NBA prospect. Now, the Russian team here has overachieved by getting to this final game, but their impossible dream is about to come to an end. Marv, they just do not have the manpower to contend with the USA.
All right, here, let's go to a man who has been embraced by the entire international basketball community, although I must say they're not exactly sure what he does. The Dean of Sideline Reporting, here's Ahmad Rashad.
All right, thanks, Marv. While everybody is taking this game for granted, like the USA team is going to walk right through Russia, the team itself is not feeling that way at all. Don Nelson sequestered the team into a room this morning for 45 minutes of watching film to get them prepared for today's game. I talked to Dominique Wilkins as he came out of the room, and he told me that, you know, we are not going to leave any stone unturned. Our goal was to come here and win a gold medal, and I have all my bags packed, but I've saved a little bit of room for that one little extra piece of luggage that I need to take back with me, and that is the gold medal, and I think I'll pack that in just a couple of hours. Marv?
All right, Ahmad. And there is Sergei Belov, head coach of the Russian team, a member of the Soviet Union squad that beat the U.S. in that disputed gold medal win of the 1972 Olympics in Munich. Now they meet again in a different set of circumstances.
The World Championship of Basketball is brought to you by IBM. There's never been a better time to do business with IBM. By Post Honey Bunches of Oats, so delicious, one taste is all it takes. By FedEx, for documents, packages, and freight worldwide, our most important package is yours. And by McDonald's, what you want is what you get at McDonald's today.
Hey! What? Those fries! You made them too big! They said to make them big. Yeah, but those are humongous.
Now you can supersize your McDonald's extra value meal with a supersize order of our golden fries plus a large Coke for just 39 cents more.
Hey, what? The Coke. It's huge. They said to make it huge. What you want is what you get.
Supersize for 39 cents more.
At McDonald's today.
One minute I'm telling myself to buy the best stuff. Next minute to save money. Buy the best, save money. Buy the best, save money. Save money. Buy the best, save money. Save money. I'm beginning to get on my nerves.
Why compromise when there's the affordable Value Point Performance Series from IBM?
This guy on the plane, he had this button in the middle of his keyboard. This red button. It's like a mouse, but you just touch it. I want one. I want a button.
Introducing the affordable ThinkPad 360 with TrackPoint 2 from IBM.
I had this dream. Everybody had on the new BK Diamond Cell. And that made them all as good as me. The BK's made them tougher, lighter, meaner.
They're all as good as you, Derek.
Then it hit me. I'm the only pro in diamond cells. What do I gotta be afraid of?
Just one taste of Honey Bunches of Oats cereal and you'll love it instantly.
Honey Bunches of Oats? You're not going to convince me. I'm convinced. Like I was saying, this is special.
Starting with those toasty flakes of corn and wheat.
What makes you think this is the one? This is the one. This is great.
Combined with those honey-kissed oat clusters in every mouth-watering bite.
If you really want me to try it, okay, I'll try it, but no promises, okay?
Whoa.
Post Honey Bunches of Oats. One taste is all it takes.
Whoa.
Today's starting lineups brought to you by Post, proud supporter of USA Basketball.
And Don Nelson is going with the lineup that he started against Russia on Friday night. Kevin Johnson, Joe Dumars, and Reggie Miller in the three-guard alignment. Derek Coleman, who had a good one against the Russians in the starting lineup with Sean Kemp. Coleman with 15.6 rebounds in 25 minutes of play. And there is the head coach, a member of 5 NBA championship teams in his 11 years as a member of the Boston Celtics. Matt earlier talked about Sergei Batsarevich, a very well-regarded backcourt man. He's the star of this team. And Karatsov also very impressive in the backcourt. The center Mikhailov did a nice job last night against Dino Rajda. And Sergei Belov, the head coach of the Russian squad, the United States controlling the opening tip. They're playing for the gold of the World Championship of Basketball. Coleman guarded by Mikhailov. So the U.S. working it around on this first possession. And Coleman guns from the outside. U.S. with a 2-0 lead. Matt, they expect a crowd of better than 32,000, which would be a attendance record for this tournament. Nice lead for Batsarevich, but he's picked up by Dumars. Kisorin back for Batsarevich, who played professionally in Turkey last season. Tried to go behind the back, but was stripped by Dumars.
Well, this is the guy that gave the USA fits on Friday night with his penetration. Dumars matched up with Batsarevich. Not only keeps him from penetrating, but strips him with the first possession. That should play a little bit on Sergei's mind.
And a good start by Derek Coleman, who will go to the line. Here's the strip by Dumars, picking the pocket of Batsarevich. And it led to the hoop by Coleman.
Well, Batsarevich has the ability to go either way, so Joe just guessed right that time as Coleman, who has been an effective player for the USA throughout this whole tournament, getting off to a good start, taking advantage of his starters' minutes.
That's Derek Coleman of the New Jersey Swamp Dragons. Is that correct?
That's what I hear.
The Nets changing the name and logo to the Swamp Dragons. There's kind of a ring to it, though, you must say. Grachov not able to hit. Grachov, number 5 in the starting lineup because of an injury to a key Russian. And the U.S. is off to a 9-0 run. Andrei Fetisov, who was a second-round pick of the Boston Celtics and now a member of the Milwaukee Bucks. Rights were traded to the Bucks. Injured his ankle in the early moments last night against Croatia, so he is out of the lineup. Russia getting to the score. That's Mikhailov, the 6'10" center, is able to convert. Here's Kevin Johnson. And the U.S. with one of their better starts. On top now, 11-2.
Well, that's what we've seen. Most of the complacency early in ball games, but this is a different starting lineup than we've seen at least in the last couple of ball games.
Nice tip. Kisorin. Able to put it home, 11-4 the score with 2 minutes gone by.
Well, the Russian team was very effective on Friday night with plays just like that, getting second shot opportunities because the front line of the Dream Teamers come and try to block everything. When they don't get a piece, that enables an offensive rebounding chance.
Again, Derek Coleman. The United States has hit its first 5 shots, and Coleman 3 of 3 from the field, 8 points in all. The U.S. 13 and Russia 4. Kisorin. And he's able to follow the shot. Rebound is put home. Vasily Karatsov. And the foul is called. Mikhailov picks up his first.
Already, the Russian team has 5 offensive rebounds, and I'm sure this is something that Don Nelson talked quite a bit about with his team today. Not only the fact that the Russians control the tempo very well and get good shots, they have a good nose for following those second ones.
Timeout is taken for the U.S. 13-6.
Be sure to get the inside stuff all summer long on NBC.
Oh, so cute.
Excuse me. Could you take a picture of us with photo over there?
If you take off to the Italian town of Todi, but your camera just takes off,
Where'd they go?
you better have Visa Gold, because there's not a camera store there that takes American Express.
There's a great shot.
Visa Gold, it's everywhere you want to be.
Hey, guys. Farm report. Surfing championships.
Let's watch both. Miller Lite presents Cowabunga. Surf's up. Come on, go. And so is Bessie. She's not just swatting flies now, Bob. Brought to you by Miller Lite. If you can combine great taste and less filling, you can combine anything. She's riding this one all the way back to Wisconsin. What a cow! What a beer. Great taste, less filling. Can your beer do this?
From the courts of the NBA, to the courts of the Grand Slams, to the World's Championship greens. It's IBM, who manages the complex network of systems that speeds millions of stats and scores to the coaches, players, fans, and media. Instantly. Information that puts a little more in the game for everybody.
The Coach's Corner, brought to you by IBM ThinkPad, the official notebook computer of USA Basketball.
Sean Kemp is thinking block shot at every opportunity. He's going to protect the basket here, but his man right over here, Mikhail Mikhailov, going to follow right in, and when Kemp does not get the block shot, Mikhailov will clean up on the offensive board.
The United States got off to a 9-0 lead. They now are up 13-6 with 2 minutes and 40 seconds gone by. U.S. has hit all 5 of its field goal attempts. Earlier today, Croatia bounced back from the loss to Russia last night, as you look at Sean Kemp at the free throw line. And Croatia beat Greece 78-60 for the bronze. Tony Kukoc and Dino Radja really struggled last night, but they both turned it. Radja today, 22 points and 8 rebounds. So Croatia with the win after losing last night to Russia, 66-64.
I went over and talked to Dino Radja and their coach Pino, anticipating a Croatian final with the USA. They're very uptight and very tentative, and a lot of respect for the Russian team, and we see why. But they probably, Kukoc and Radja, had their worst basketball games maybe of their career, although Tony Radja had a very poor one against Houston during the regular season when he was 0 for 14.
Here's Kevin Johnson. And Matsudevich on the run, putting the move on Miller. Oh, nicely done by Matsudevich. A veteran of national play. He's the leader on this team, a member of the 92 Olympic squad that went to Barcelona. Kemp getting position and off the spin, able to put it home.
Well, this is the big weakness of the Russian defense. They do a lot of smart things in their team defense as far as sagging, helping out, quick to anticipate loose balls, but they just do not have size and power inside to control the likes of a Derek Coleman, a Sean Kemp, or when Shaquille O'Neal gets into the ballgame.
Nice lead. Matsudevich from 17-10. United States with the lead. Dumars getting the screen from Coleman. Reggie Miller for 3. Reggie Miller has been on fire from time to time, in particular in the game last Wednesday against Puerto Rico, when he went on a run from the three-point line, had 8 of 11 three-pointers in the first half, 26 points in all in the first first half against Puerto Rico.
Kevin Johnson, first
Foul called on Kevin Johnson.
And that was just a light touch on a hand check, but it shows you why a good penetrator like a Kevin Johnson or a Bazarevich has the ability to penetrate and get in the lane when you're not allowed to put your hands on somebody.
United States 7 for its first 7. 3 from downtown. And they are up 20-10.
Strong. Yeah.
Get 8 for 8. And a 22-10 lead as Sean Kemp converts on his second field goal.
And there's that power inside again, and the helping defense of Russia all collapsing on Coleman inside, and a nice interior pass to Sean Kemp.
Last night, the U.S. defeated Greece 97-58. United States played poorly in the first half. Probably the worst 20 minutes of basketball during the tournament. Three-pointer, Joe Dumars with his second from downtown, and the United States leads 25-10. And the U.S. has hit its first 9 shots from the field. Mikhailov. 25-12, U.S. on top. Joe Dumars getting the roll.
Joe Dumars.
The U.S. 10 for 10.
Now, Joe's feeling it, and all of the point guards for the USA throughout this tournament, all of them, I'm saying Kevin Johnson, Mark Price, and really Joe Dumars has had the ball in the middle of the break and is handling the ball and is, in fact, defending Russia's point guard, Sergei Bazarov, are looking to be very offensive-minded. Let's look at the collapsing defense of the Russian team. Over here, this weak side defender is going to react to Derek Coleman inside, who has had his way with Russia so far. As the ball goes inside there, he is going to come over and help out, and that is going to enable Sean Kemp to duck in on the doorstep for the easy lay-in.
Coleman with the steal, and Dumars able to come up with it. Dmitry Dominy and Sergei Bobkov have checked in for the first one. Here's Dumars in the face of Bobkov. That's the first miss by the United States. Bazarevich on the run. Nice penetration, could not put it down. Here's Coleman. Derek Coleman, yes, and it counts. A foul called on Dominy.
Well, Sergei Bazarov is beside himself as he did a terrific job wending his way to the basket, unable to finish on the play, and it results in an easy one the other way. Really not that easy, as Derek Coleman had to negotiate a couple of Russian players and finish with his offhand, the right hand. But this is the biggest weakness of international teams, transition defense. They just cannot stop the man with the ball, as Mark Price and the USA bench shows their appreciation of the open court play of Derek Coleman.
Derek Coleman completing the three-point play. He has 11. And the United States is up by the count of 30-12. .45 remaining in this first half. Marv Albert, Matt Gukas, and Ahmad Rashad. Nice move, but the rejection. Mikhailov can't hit the follow. Coleman and Kemp combine to stop Kisorin. Yevgeny Kisorin spinning, looking for the angle, but could not find it.
Well, Russia continues to get second and third opportunities as they anticipate the loose ball so well. This is one of their strengths, but Sean Kemp and Derek Coleman just discussing things, how happy they are with their block shot. However, the ball goes back to Russia as they couldn't keep it in play.
Russians 6 of 17 from the field here at the start. The U.S. 11 of 12. Kisorin again tries to wheel inside.
USA foul, the third team foul.
And Kevin Johnson called for that foul. Russia, the second-place finisher in the European Championship last summer, upset by Germany in the final. You're looking at the coach, Sergei Belov, as Yevgeny Kisorin goes to the line. Russia finished 4th in the 92 Barcelona Olympics as the Commonwealth of Independent States. The former Soviet Union won the Olympic gold in 1972 in Munich and 1988.
And on
that missed free throw. McKenna seeking in with that lane and the angle. It enables that second position to get a little bit of an edge, and Mikhailov took advantage of it to get the tip in, too.
Miller for three.
Reggie Miller for three.
Another three for Reggie Miller. And the United States now 12 of 13 from the floor, and they have been hitting from downtown. They're 5 of 6 from three-point territory. 33-15. United States with the lead. Reggie Miller called for his first. And everyone getting into the act, sparked by Derek Coleman. Don Nelson going with Derek in the starting lineup. Coleman had the good one against Russia on Friday night.
Yeah. Dimitri Damani is going to be a sophomore at St. Joseph's University this year. Had a terrific game Friday night against the USA, scoring 17 points in 18 minutes. Only scored 6 last night at against Croatia, but just did an outstanding job defensively on Tony Kukoc.
Only 19 years old. And another three for Reggie Miller. Damani made an impact right at the start as a freshman, named to the all-freshman team in the Atlantic 10 Conference. Derek Coleman able to sweep the boards. U.S. up by 20 here in the early going. And here's Kemp. And the United States doing this without Shaquille O'Neal, who on a number of occasions when things were not going well would come in off the bench and at times would bail out the U.S.
Well, he's the 6th man, Marv. I mean, you just have your secret weapon. But this is the most focused we have seen the USA team. They are out to take care of business early.
The block by Kemp, blocking the jump shot. Yes, a complete difference in terms of defensive intensity. Kemp is called for the foul. Bob threw that foul, shaking up that he's all right. Timeout call. We'll be back in a moment.
At the time, Muggsy, a man of small stature, was to battle the giant named Goliath. Armed only with an incredible thirst to prove himself, Muggsy, fleet of foot, did circle and confuse Goliath, and thus slew the mighty giant. All the people celebrated. Sprite flowed freely, thus it was written. Height is nothing, thirst is everything. Obey your thirst.
Welcome back to Hoop Hijinks with today's contestant, Anthony Hardaway. Penny, I see you've got the new Nike Air Pound.
That's right.
Now all you need to win these new Nike Air Flight 55s is a basket.
No sweat.
Did I mention the bumper cars?
Bumper cars.
Nice shot, Anthony. But I'm afraid you can still only get these shoes at Foot Locker. Just watch out for the speedboat.
Speedboat.
The new Nike shoes. You can win them here or get them at Foot Locker.
Snow was falling on the ground. What did I do? I went out and shoveled the snow. Made me a path on the basketball court. Had my mittens on. I'm shooting. You know, oh, it's raining outside. Huh? Raining?
Put on a coat.
So what? The door was shut in your face sometimes. But you still keep going. You still keep going.
NBA Hoops basketball cards from Skybox. When you dream it, see it, go after it.
Karch Karai and Ken Steffes, the Kings of the Beach, go for the three-peat at the Old Spice U.S. Championships next weekend on NBC. Dig it.
Tonight, it's Sequest's finest hour. Critics say the Alien episode is superb family entertainment. Sequest, 8, 7 Central, NBC tonight.
Very cool.
Well, all of these foreign teams have had a great deal of difficulty defending pick and roll as Coleman frees up Miller. Dimitri Damani goes underneath, and Reggie Miller knocking down his 30th three-pointer in 55 attempts in this tournament. Sean Kemp getting the defender. Mikhailov up on the top side. He just drops it strong to the basket as the USA bench has really been into all of the good plays throughout this series, showing all kinds of emotion and enthusiasm.
Don Nelson staying with the lineup that start of the game. And the U.S. is up 38-16 off phenomenal shooting. 14 of 15 from the field. Kemp with the outlet. Here comes Johnson. U.S. on the run. Derek Coleman, 14 points. So Derek Coleman, who has gone through this tournament, at times being the 10th and 11th man in the starting lineup, off the good showing against Russia on Friday night, and he has sparked the United States here this afternoon.
Well, transition defense, again, very difficult for any team. When you get the ball out this far, the long outlet pass to midcourt to Kevin Johnson, and he had Derek Coleman measured all the way, coming in strong on the right side. Good heads-up play by Kevin Johnson.
Sergei Bazarevich back on the floor wearing number 9. Mikhailov, played by Kemp, puts the move on. He got the step. Nicely done, but not able to hit. Coleman fires it down. Dumars could not get to that long outlet.
And Derek pointing to himself, actually, I don't have a real good angle on. I didn't think that was that poor a pass, although Joe Dumars just picked it up too late. But that's where the USA has been making the outlet pass to start the fast break all the way to midcourt. Even if you play good transition defense, no way you can get back when you can make that long an outlet pass.
The lead broken up by Dumars. Nice ball movement by the United States. Kemp off the head fake. Kemp off the double team. Unstoppable move by Shawn Kemp of the Seattle Supersonics. The United States has hit 16 of 17 for a 42-16 advantage. 10.5 remaining in this first half. Coleman with the block and the foul that will put Mikhailov at the line.
USA foul, the 6th team foul of the period.
Shawn Kemp getting excellent position inside against Kasurin, and he gets no help here, and the quick spin move and then the spin back is Shawn Kemp just making all kinds of moves, holding his pivot foot strong, and nothing Kasurin can do defensively without some help coming down. In the game last night against Croatia, I thought the Russians did an outstanding job of coming down and helping out on Dino Radja, kept him from getting into any kind of low post game.
And Mikhailov in particular did a nice job on Radja, who was 1 for 10 from the field in the first half. The United States leads 42-17. Mark Price has come on, first substitution for the U.S. Off the weave, here's Kemp, dumping it off to Coleman, looking for the reverse. Only the second miss by the U.S. And back come the Russians. Off the break, nicely done on the 3-on-2, and Bobkov was fouled. Pushed from behind. Sergei Bobkov,
7th team foul.
hit by Joe Dumars.
Number 4.
Well, the Russians getting out on the classic 3-on-2 fast break. Get it into their good decision maker, Bazarevich, and over to Damani and inside to Bobkov. Has excellent ball handling, but Bobkov just could not get his feet straight. This is another player that a lot of people, many in Russia and a lot of people throughout this tournament, think that Sergei Bobkov has some NBA potential as well. He's a good perimeter shooter, a good, smart, heady player.
Now, this must be just wonderful for Sergei Belov, the coach of the Russians, to see. You're down 42-17, and here's Shaquille O'Neal entering the game for the first time. As Derek Coleman sits down, nice hand from the crowd. High man with 13 points on 5 out of 6 shooting, including 1 from downtown. Kemp able to take it off the rim.
Well, not only off the rim, in the basket. That was 3/4 of the way down. That's a legal play in international rules.
Price with the opening. Mark Price on the clean. Cavaliers converts from three-point territory. 45-18, the United States on top. They opened up with a 9-0 run. They have been unconscious from the field. 17 of 19 overall, 7 of 8 from three-point land. Shot clock is down to 2. It's down to 1. And it's a 30-second violation. The basket will not count.
Talking about the fact that Derek Coleman started today and Shaq did. We were talking to Don Nelson earlier today, and actually Shaquille would have started if number 15, Vitaly Nosop, started. But Don Nelson, although I said he's very much concerned with his own team, just trying to mix things up and see what happens. And he knows Shaquille is not all that concerned about starting. Shaq knows he's going to get his minutes.
Unique pass tossed by Kemp for O'Neal. Bazarevich met by O'Neal. Nicely done, but it's blocked by Kemp. The pass for Nosov is back away, and here's Shaquille at the other end. United States 47 and Russia 18. Dumani has that nice outside touch. Dimitri Dumani, who finished second in the Atlantic Cannon. A three-point field goal percentage. Shaquille O'Neal talking it up. I'm certain that Vitaly Nosov understood exactly what Shaquille was saying.
Sean Kemp, who has been so alert going after shot. This one, he stones cold Nosov, starting the fast break for the USA. And Shaquille O'Neal having a lot to say to Nosov, saying, big fella, you better get back and find me early, or I'm going to dunk on everybody all afternoon.
Russia substitution.
And that block shot getting it to Price, and Shaquille O'Neal, who has run the floor beautifully, as Derek Coleman cheering from the bench after getting the USA off to a terrific start in this ballgame.
United States with a 49-20 lead, 8 minutes remaining first half. Mikhailov is back on the floor, replacing Kisarin. Mikhailov with the ball guarded by Kemp. Dumani played by Miller. Dumani on a pull-up. Dumani on the follow. And a new 30 for Russia. Keel able to knock it away from Mikhailov. And that is his fifth field goal. 11 points for Mikhail Mikhailov. 49-22, the United States on top. Shaquille O'Neal coming up short. Another opportunity, and he's hacked. So Shaquille will go to the line. Timeout taken. We'll be back in a moment.
Number 11, Mikhail Mikhailov.
So, did you hear about the big AT&T deal? Well, if you spend $25 a month on AT&T long distance, you can get AT&T True USA savings. 20% off your calls to anyone, anywhere in the USA. And if that wasn't big enough, AT&T True Rewards, with points good for free frequent flyer miles and free AT&T minutes. You won't get this big deal from MCI or Sprint, but to get it, you gotta call AT&T.
Your true voice.
A 3-hour tour.
Hello, Mr. Umatsu. You know, your shipment is ready.
Hello, how are you?
Fine, sir. I just have a question about custom regulations for your country. Do I need an import license, a certificate of origin, 525V, or what?
Hello, how are you?
Fine. Could you hold?
All you got to do
Hello.
to simplify international shipping is use FedEx.
Mr. Umatsu? Yes, sir. I'm fine. We're all fine.
In 2 weeks, there's more great preseason football action on NBC. Jeff Hostetler leads the L.A. Raiders' high-powered offense against the tenacious D of the Houston Oilers. It's their final tune-up before the regular season kicks off. The intensity level rises August 27th. The NFL on NBC. Nothing's more American.
I'm Ahmad Rashad back at Sky Dome here in Toronto for the World Championship of Basketball. Now, this is such a wonderful facility. Now, it was originally made for baseball. The Toronto Blue Jays play here, and this is where home plate was. Well, it was there last week, and hopefully it'll be back there sometime in the near future. Also, here is Sky Dome Hotel, and also the Hard Rock Cafe. And while we have a lot of stars here on the court, we also have a huge star up in the fans. This is Whoopi Goldberg, who was here watching the game, and I talked to Whoopi last night about maybe putting me on the large screen, and I thought it was going to happen, but I guess it won't. Mark, I guess we're going to have to work on this bit a little bit later on in the game. Could you come back over here sometime?
You know, if you get it on the large screen, and Matt, you know this is true, and see it up there, that's all we'll see for the next 6 weeks on Inside Stuff. John Kemp trying to follow up on that missed free throw, but it's a traveling violation. United States with a 50-22 lead. They hit their first 10 shots, 16 of their first 17, and overall 19 for 24 from the field. Damani with the spin. And Kemp rebounds. O'Neal, Kemp, now Dan Marley has come on. Price and Miller on the floor for Don Nelson. Damani able to hustle it down. Six and a half remaining in the first half. And the foul is called on Kemp. So Nossoff will go to the foul line. Tripped up on the play.
This is the quietest we have heard this building in the 3 games or the 3 sessions that have been played here. Normally when Croatia and Greece is involved, this building is as loud as you've ever heard because there are very large communities from those nationalities, and they come out in force, waving flags, blowing whistles, demonstrations outside the building. They really get into it. And right now, with neither of those teams taking part, the building is a little quiet right now. And, of course, when one team is leading by 28, it's tough to get real excited.
Yes, that will contribute to it. A record crowd on hand for the World Championship of Basketball tournament. Better than 32,000 have come out to Sky Dome. Shaquille O'Neal barreling inside. No basket. Basket won't count. Foul before the shot. Nossoff.
Shaq going to catch Nossoff on his back. It's a little bit of a bump. Then some help from Mikhailov, and Shaq just burrows his way right through to muscle that ball into the basket, but it will not count.
Nice pass from O'Neal, setting up Kemp. That will count. And the U.S. is up 52-23. Dominique Wilkins has checked in for the first time, so it's O'Neal, Kemp, Wilkins, Marley, and Price on the floor for the United States. Mikhailov moving to his right on Kemp, and it's rebounded by O'Neal. O'Neal coming off the bench today, well, with the fast start by Derek Coleman. Here is Shaquille, rejected by Mikhailov. Shaquille O'Neal turned back by Mikhailov.
And once in a while, Shaq will get some shots blocked when the ball is down low, but this one was up high, although Shaq didn't really get an explosive lift on that layup attempt. Nonetheless, a terrific job by Mikhailov to get the block shot.
Backdoor pass did not work. And here comes Kemp for Wilkins, and he's fouled by Mikhailov. That is 3.
The 16th foul of the period.
On Mikhailov.
Well, not only does Sean Kemp finish plays in the open floor, he does also a good job of taking the ball in the middle when that opportunity presents itself, and does have a good knack of finding that open man, as he did find Dominique Wilkins coming in on the left side.
Dominique Wilkins at 34, the oldest player on the team. He's starting another phase of his illustrious career as a member of the Boston Celtics. Averaged 26 a game for the Los Angeles Clippers last season. That was 4th in the NBA. 5:25 remaining in the first half. Price with the steal. He has Wilkins on the wing, but Rusher gets back. Here's Price. Yes. Able to elude Pashutin. And Mark Price with his second three-pointer to give the United States a 57-23 lead. Damani from deep. Price and Pashutin making contact. Pashutin trying to draw the foul. Shaquille getting inside. Enjoying that one.
Well, Nossoff fell down in the backcourt, and immediately Shaquille O'Neal and Mark Price established eye contact. Shaq knew he was going to get something in the middle of the floor. I don't think he expected to see that one as he sends that one out of there. As Bobcott goes hard to the floor.
That's a substitution. Number 7, Yevgeny Isovic returns.
Well, Shaquille maybe smarting a little bit from getting his block. This time measuring Bobkov, sending it out of there. Normally, Shaq will try to keep that ball in play, but he's trying to entertain the fans right here, right now, and he knows they'll enjoy that kind of block shot. The better play is keep it in play to start a fast break.
Three-pointer for Dmitry Domani. That's the first three-pointer for the Russians after missing their earlier 4 attempts. 59-26, the United States. Larry Johnson, who just came on with his first attempt. Larry Johnson of the extends to a 61-26 advantage. Pashutin gives it up to Rossov, and he's fouled by Johnson.
USA foul.
Here we take a look at Larry Johnson, who has not played particularly well throughout the tournament. Of course, he had that bad back throughout the whole season with the Charlotte Hornets. Hurt their chances, and in fact, they did not make the playoffs because of injury problems and also Alonzo Mournings. And right now, he looks like he just does not have the lift. It looks like his legs are not strong. He's got a tremendously strong upper body, and of course, without the leg strength, very difficult for a guy about 6'5", 6'6", which he is, to get up in traffic and put balls to the basket.
Although Larry listed at 6'7", a very generous description of his height. Missed 31 games last year in Charlotte because of assorted injuries. Just under 4 minutes to go in this first half. Now Johnson posting up. Shot waved off. And a foul called. Foul on Keith Soren. 3:45 remaining. First half. We'll be right back.
Time out on the court.
It's big, it's bold, it's big and juicy. Zestier, juicier, and beefier kinds of dogs, bursting with flavor.
What a hot dog.
Big and juicy hot dogs from Oscar Mayer. We're talking taste, big time.
What now? Who's Etienne?
Who cares? Come on.
Who's Etienne?
He's a camel repairman.
What?
He's a mechanic.
You're kidding.
Hope he takes Visa. Oh, he does.
Visa Gold can get you cash more places worldwide than any other card, even American Express.
Etienne fix everything.
Visa Gold.
Are you colder than I am? What was that?
I'm gonna wait all
Hot
night.
day. Heads up, look out.
Wait a minute. Can you see anything yet?
Just a second, settle down. He's opening the refrigerator. Tell me it's not a store brand. I can't see through you.
Would you move over, please? Wait a minute. It's...
Come on, you guys. Definitely seconds. This is it. This is the year. It's going to be tough. But we're going to do it. We're going to hit them high. We're going to hit them low. We're going to fight. We're never give up. Never give up. Never. We're going to beat them because we're the best. We're better.
Join Mike and me this September for the NFL on NBC.
That's why we're going to win the game.
Well, this afternoon, Shaquille O'Neal has come off the bench following the excellent start by Derek Coleman, and Shaq is at 3 of 6 for 7 points, controlling the backboard. Earlier, we talked with Shaquille about the meaning of winning the gold medal in this World Championship of Basketball.
If we can get this gold medal today and get the gold medal in Atlanta, it's going to put a lot of pressure on Dream Team 3. Dream Team 1 went undefeated, Dream Team 2 went undefeated. It'll be a lot of pressure put on Dream Team 3.
And we know that man will be part of Dream Team 3, in effect putting some additional pressure on himself when it comes to Atlanta.
I don't really think so, Mark. I don't really think it matters who the NBA says. Obviously, they want to send their best players, and of course, this is one of the best. And he looks like he really enjoys this kind of setting and this kind of exposure because he is really responding very well.
Dominique Wilkins extends to a 63-28 lead with 3:35 remaining in the first half. Matt, as you look at the roster of this Dream Team number 2, How many of these guys do you feel will be on the team in Atlanta?
Well, of course, 2 years is an eternity from now. A lot of different things can happen. Obviously, a Shaquille O'Neal, Reggie Miller, who has also done so well throughout this tournament, Sean Kemp, to name a few. I think Larry Johnson is going to come back. If he can get his back healthy, I think he'll be part of that as well. Derek Coleman has afforded himself very well. Karl Malone has said that he would like to get back into this type of thing. David Robinson's a pretty good center, and I know he's enjoyed international competition as well. And some of the new guards that we might see, Latrell Sprewell, who made the All-NBA team, Anthony Hardaway, a star on the horizon, and also would, I think, play very well in this type of thing. Tim Hardaway, who was picked for this team originally, couldn't make it because of injury. He has a good chance to be there. Kenny Anderson and Chris Webber. And, of course, let's not forget some of the rookies who might develop very quickly. Glenn Robinson, Grant Hill, and Jason Kidd.
Want to name a few more guys?
Well, I'm going to name all three because I don't want to get in trouble, Mark.
I had the Gukas projection there, but I was going to say pending on who the good-looking rookies are that will come on, and you covered all possibilities there. 64-28, United States with the lead, just under 3 minutes remaining in the first half. Soft gives it back out. Here's Damani. Another three. Damani, who is playing college ball, entering his sophomore season at St. Joseph's of Philadelphia. Mark Price right back with a three. 67-31. Damani. And the back tap by Nosop. Wilkins had that diagnosed. Dominic with the ball fake gets it to Marley.
Just the USA just overpowering Russia. Although that was not a bad transition defensive play by Dominic. Back to stop the ball and force Dominic Wilkins to make a pass. It just none of his teammates got back with him. Dan Marley beat everybody down the floor.
And Sergei Bobkov hits from three-point land. 69-34 the score. Shaquille O'Neal backing his way and called for traveling. 38-point lead for the United States. The biggest blowout for Dream Team number 1 in Barcelona was a margin of 68. That's the famed game against Angola. Charles Barkley's good buddies when the U.S. won 116-48. Miscommunication, Marley's pass off the mark, intended for Price. Minute and a half remaining. Russia able to get down, and a facial served up by Dimitri Damani. 11 points for Damani.
Well, even though Russia trails by 33, they still do a lot of the fundamental things that well. Damani just took off after the turnover. A little bit of loss by USA. They wound up getting an easy field goal. Unfortunately for Russia, however, they are so far behind, they're going to have to make a million fundamental plays.
Oh, nice move high off the glass. Yevgeny Pashutin banking it home following the stuff by Shaquille O'Neal. 71-38 with just under 1 minute remaining in this first half. Out of 10 on the 30-second clock. Mark Price. Rebound Larry Johnson. The feed for Shaquille O'Neal. 12 points for Shaquille. The high man for the United States. Derek Coleman with 13. Sean Kemp with 12. And Dimitri Damani with 11 for Russia. Mikhailov also has 11. Marley called for traveling. Does not like the call.
A traveling violation.
Here, Shaquille O'Neal not only has the power and strength, but also shows some agility there as the 7-footer made himself about 6'5" as he just hung in the air, double clutched, and laid it softly off the glass. Shaquille has shown a lot of nice new moves in this particular tournament. Not only things like that, but putting the ball on the floor. Not really taking a lot of jump shots because he hasn't had to do it.
Final seconds of the half. Again, a nice touch. Sergei Bobkov with that pull-up jump shot, which we saw all night last night against Croatia. But at halftime, the United States leading 73-40. 28 of 39, 72% shooting in this first half. Stay tuned for the McDonald's halftime report.
Boss.
Meet Larry. He's new.
Say, Larry, hypothetical question. How would you send a big, important shipment to a big, important client in, say, Hong Kong?
FedEx?
Right. Say someone didn't use FedEx, and that big, important shipment never got there. What would you call that someone, Larry?
Dope.
Right. Dope.
Big or small around the world, next time use FedEx.
I would have known you were the dope. I wouldn't.
Okay, guys, baseball or bass fishing?
Baseball. Bass fishing.
Hey, guys, watch this.
Miller Lite presents professional baseball. Watson calls for a fresh bass. There's the windup and the fish. It's a high fly bass. Brought to you by Miller Lite. If you can combine great taste and less filling, you can combine anything. Here comes a play at the plate. You're out. He caught the bass. Great taste, less filling. Can your beer do this?
Whoa. You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You know he's not perfect, but on certain days in his life, he has been. The night he poured in 63 points. The time he crushed 3 home runs in the World Series. The day he found Dwight Clark in the end zone. And you wish at some point, at some moment in your life, you could be that perfect too. And that's why you cheer for him. That's why you believe in heroes.
Today's halftime report brought to you by McDonald's, proud sponsor of USA Basketball.
Welcome to the McDonald's halftime report. Coming up, we'll talk to Dikembe Mutombo of the Denver Nuggets. He's in Toronto taking in the World Championship. We'll also hear from another gentleman in Toronto, Stu Jackson. The former Knicks head coach is the head of basketball operations for the expansion Vancouver Grizzlies. And we'll have highlights of Croatia's bronze medal win over Greece. We'll get started right after this message from McDonald's.
Now our first place essay winner, Jory Bell.
I'm a parent. I hope I won't have to be a single parent. You have to work all day, spend time with your kids, and take them places like McDonald's for a Happy Meal so they feel special. When I have kids, I hope my husband lives forever. But if I have to be a single parent, I want to be just like my daddy.
In 2 weeks, there's more great preseason football action on NBC. Jeff Hostetler leads the L.A. Raiders' high-powered offense against the tenacious D of the Houston Oilers. It's their final tune-up before the regular season kicks off. The intensity level rises August 27th. The NFL on NBC. Nothing's more American.
Halftime of the gold medal game between the United States and Russia. The Dream Team leads it 73-40. Earlier today, Croatia, which was upset by Russia last night, bounced back to take the bronze medal over Greece. Tony Kukoc scored 12 of his 14 points in the first half, 2 in the nice move to the basket. Croatia led by only 4 at the break. They pulled away in the second half. Dino Raja off the spin move down low. He finished with a game-high 22. Croatia by 15. Don Nelson, head coach of Dream Team 2, did watch the bronze medal game. Arian Komazet scored 21 for Croatia, 18 of those in the second half. Croatia wins the bronze by beating Greece, the final 78-60. Right now, let's head back to Toronto, where Ahmad Rashad is standing by with Stu Jackson of the Vancouver Grizzlies. Ahmad, take it away.
All right, thank you very much, Marianne. First of all, Stu, congratulations on your new job as Vice President and General Manager of the new operation out in Vancouver.
Well, thank you very much, Ahmad.
Now, tell me this. Now, first of all, you were coaching in New York, then all of a sudden you go to the front office of the NBA, then you go back to coaching, and now you go back in the front office. What was it? What was the determining factor to get you out of Wisconsin and out to Vancouver?
Well, really what I've been doing, Ahmad, is really my whole career preparing for an opportunity such as this, and my background has really lent itself, obviously having some understanding of the business of basketball, as well as having been in the forefront of coaching and game activity.
It's got to be exciting for you to start from the ground up and build a team, I would imagine.
It really is. It's a very rare opportunity in professional sports where you truly get in on the ground floor, establish a foundation, and really watch it grow and experience the fruits of your labor. And, you know, we have a terrific city in which we're doing it in, and there can't be much more of an exciting time.
You're in sort of the same sort of situation that Isaiah Thomas is here in Toronto. Now, we know that Toronto is a big sports town. Vancouver the same kind of thing?
Very, very sports-minded town. They're very active people. Typically, the word that you hear is that it is a hockey town. But in reality, what it is, a very untapped NBA market there. And we're really hoping to bring that out in the city. And we think once they touch and feel the NBA product, they're just going to absolutely fall in love with it.
Do they have inside stuff on out there?
Well, you better come out there.
Now, tell me, what about your priorities as the general manager? How about talking about a coach? There are a couple coaches that have been sort of recycled, like in Dallas, I got Dick Motta, and also the Fitch down in Los Angeles. What kind of coach will you try to hire?
Well, Mott, at this time, you know, I don't want to rule out anyone, but I think we have a very unique opportunity being a very young franchise and one that can really have a chance to grow. And matching a coach with that philosophy and vision, I think, is a priority. At this point, we're not ruling out anybody, but it gives us the next basketball season to really evaluate people, talk to people, and hopefully make the right decision.
One of the neat things about the NBA is it doesn't take long for an expansion team to turn into a winner, like Charlotte, like Orlando, like Miami. So that's got to be something that you look forward to.
Yeah, at the same time, it takes a little bit of patience. All of those teams, it took them 4 years to really reach the playoffs. It takes patience and building a good foundation with young players and draft picks, and we hope to emulate that.
Now, this is, I guess, the first priority was coming up with these logos. This is the new Vancouver Grizzlies hat, as you see right here. Nice logo. And I think I'm going to be the first one on my block to have these, Stu, because I am taking these from you.
You absolutely are. These are for you, but you have to wear them.
I will.
Okay.
Thanks a lot for coming on, Stu.
Yeah.
Congratulations to you. Good luck.
Thanks.
All right, back to you, Marianne.
Thanks, Ahmad. Bring us hats. When we return, I'll talk live with one of the NBA's emerging stars, Dikembe Mutombo of the Denver Nuggets. That's right after these messages from your local station.
You've made many friends on Thursday night. Now meet Joey.
You need anything, you can always come to Joey. Me and Chandler live right across the hall, and he's away a lot.
Joey, stop hitting on her. It's her wedding day.
What? Like there's a rule or something?
Friends, Thursdays this fall on NBC.
If you've been watching News 8,
Bank robbers have been running police in the Portland area ragged these past couple of months.
when the big story breaks, News 8 is there.
News 8's Tom Fuller joins us now with more in this exclusive report.
News 8 goes the distance for you with exclusive, in-depth coverage.
News 8 Steve Pickett live tonight with more on how you can...
And coming up Monday on News 8, major vacation plans yet? Well, hurry up and wait. The friendly skies are in a holding pattern. What's going on? Find out Monday on News 8 at 5.
Caring for others, improving the environment, educating our children, restoring good health, collecting food for the hungry. Good citizens fill our communities. That's why Channel 8 and Portland General Electric have joined to recognize the citizens who care in our communities. We invite you to nominate deserving community servants for this honor. Pick up nomination forms at Channel 8 or call 226-5000.
Believe it or not, some people are comparing Cherokee to the best-selling Ford Explorer. I say if it looks, feels, drives, and sells like the leader, it is the leader. Let's check it out. Which one's longer and wider? Uh-huh. Which one gives you a better, more comfortable ride? Thought so. And which has more head and legroom? Check. Looks like there's no comparison. Check out an Explorer today at your local Northwest Ford dealer.
Women search for a past someone took from them. Watch Inside Edition.
Dream Team 2 leads it by 33 at the half. If they are to match their predecessors from the original Dream Team, they'd have to win today by 94 points. Right now, Dream Team 2 is winning by an average margin of 37 points. Dream Team 1 averaged 44 points per victory. I'm joined now by Dikembe Mutombo of the Denver Nuggets, who's been in Toronto taking in the World Championships. Dikembe, thanks for joining us. As a native of Zaire, you're not eligible for Dream Team 2, but you're right in there cheering on your NBA colleagues and friends. So can these guys win by 94 today?
Oh, I think they are able to do it, especially the way Reggie Miller is shooting and Shaquille is going inside. I think it's not going to be really a major problem for them. They're going to take this thing easily.
What's your impressions of this team?
Oh, I think this guy don't deserve to be here, especially because there's no way really any country that is here today they can compete with those guys.
An important subject and an important trip coming up for you, Dikembe. A week from tomorrow, you travel to South Africa,
yes,
along with your fellow Georgetown grads, Patrick Ewing and Alonzo Mourning. A special trip. You went last year on an NBA-sponsored tour. Tell us about that.
First, I want to say that it's really, really nice for me to take another opportunity to visit my continent again and trying to help all these people who are suffering over there, and trying to give another inspiration for the young African kids to being able to compete in another sport besides soccer. That's another thing that I'm bringing to them, and going to shoot the PSA for care, and going trying to help the people raise the money with all those refugees are running from Rwanda or Uganda, coming to my country, especially Zaire.
This year you're traveling to Cape Town and Johannesburg. What was it like when the kids reacted to you last year? What did they say? What did they do?
For them, my first impression over there was that these kids couldn't believe that I was from Africa myself. They was like, no way, we never have somebody 7'3" living in Africa. How long have you been living in America? I said, no, I've just been living in America for 7 years, but I'm born and raised in Africa, but they just didn't believe me.
Lots of changes in South Africa, newly democratic. Last year, did you have the opportunity to meet with Nelson Mandela?
Yes, I got an opportunity, matter of fact, to have dinner with him. That was really something will go on my history, and I'm looking forward to pass this to my kids, to my grandkids one day.
Now, this season, Denver played spoiler to Seattle. You had a very emotional playoffs and a very emotional season. Time to reflect upon that. What do you think about that now?
I tell you, one thing has been going on that every time I've been meeting with Sean Kemp at the lobby or in the playroom, we just been looking at each other face to face, and maybe somebody's saying something inside, but we have been spoken, but it's just been amazing just to go and have something and make everybody being proud of you. That's what has happened in my life right now.
We'll never forget that shot of you hugging that ball on the court at the end of that game. Well, we wish you a safe journey overseas, a great season this fall, and enjoy the rest of the game.
Thank you. I'm looking forward to see you guys next year.
Thank you, Dikembe. That'll do it for the McDonald's halftime report. Time to send it back to Toronto. Enjoy the second half.
Today's halftime report has been brought to you by McDonald's, proud sponsor of USA Basketball.
Now our first place essay winner, Jory Bell.
I'm a parent. I hope I won't have to be a single parent. You have to work all day, spend time with your kids, and take them places like McDonald's for a Happy Meal so they feel special. When I have kids, I hope my husband lives forever. But if I have to be a single parent, I want to be just like my dad.
This, oh, yeah.
At the time, Muggsy, a man of small stature, was to battle the giant named Goliath. Armed only with an incredible thirst to prove himself, Muggsy, fleet of foot, did circle and confuse Goliath, and thus slew the mighty giant. All the people celebrated. Sprite flowed freely, thus it was written. Height is nothing, thirst is everything. Obey your thirst.
I want a computer that really flies. I'm not talking Orville and Wilbur stuff. I'm talking where your cheeks are like this.
Introducing the powerful Value Point Performance Series from IBM.
1 minute I'm telling myself to buy the best stuff. Next minute to save money. Buy the best, save money. Buy the best, save money. Save money. Buy the best, save money. Save money. I'm beginning to get on my nerves.
Why compromise when there's the affordable ThinkPad 360 from IBM?
Hey, I'm talking to you. What is technology but the brain demanding more from the body? More than what was done. More than what is thought possible. Put the beyond within reach. Air square. Strangely scientific.
This is the place. Told them you were living downtown, driving all the old men crazy. There they are.
Cold filtered Miller Genuine Draft. The cold one. So get out of the old and get into the cold.
Well, obviously, only fun and frolic for the United States squad here this afternoon in Toronto with that 73-40 lead over Russia as they play for the gold. Mighty tough to come back from 5 touchdowns, it should be pointed out. Biggest lead, margin of 38. And Matt, I'd have to say that this is the most intensity we've seen the U.S. squad show during the course of this tournament.
Well, they were ready, and it probably would have happened no matter who they played against. But keep in mind that Croatia and Russia, their goal was to win the silver medal. Russia accomplished that with their emotional 2-point win last night.
Tremendous shooting by the United States. Hit their first 10, 16 of 17, and then 28 for 39 for the half. And from three-point land, 9 of 12 for the United States. Reggie Miller, 3 out of 4 from downtown. The United States controls the opening tip. Alonzo Mourning on the floor for the first time. It's been tough to find him the minutes the way Derek Coleman and Shaquille O'Neal were going. It's Mourning with Sean Kemp, Kevin Johnson, Joe Dumars, and Reggie Miller. Again, Don Nelson going with the 3 guards. Dumars hits the 3 with the friendly roll. 11 for Dumars. And the U.S. leads 76-40. This is Sergei Bazarevich. Penetrating. Nice move as he was able to protect the ball away from Alonzo Mourning. Kemp able to beat the Russians down. Got the step on Mikhailov.
Well, that's pretty much of a rerun of what happened quite a bit in the first half. Kemp is getting ahead of the pack. USA looking up, getting him the easy basket. But right before that, we saw Bazarevich once again go by Kevin Johnson. He just cannot keep him in front of him. In fact, Don Nelson started Joe Dumars on Bazarevich, showing the respect of the 29-year-old Russian.
Sergei Bobkov now with 8 points. And this is Bazarevich accelerating. Looking for Bobkov, who is cutting the baseline. Mikhailov. Kisora had it knocked away. Bazarevich checking the 30-second clock. It's down to 8. Try to put the spin on Johnson. Shot clock at 5. Here's Mikhailov, has to force. And Mourning with the rebound.
And that time, a good defensive play by Kevin Johnson to prevent that penetration by Bazarevich, who had to hit his team up on him.
Alonzo Mourning with his first field goal. Alonzo starting this second half. 80-44, United States on the way to take this World Championship of Basketball with ease. Earlier today, Croatia able to turn it from the poor performance last night against Russia. Dumars with 13 points as Croatia defeated Greece 78-60 to win the bronze.
Well, this 3-guard lineup for Don Nelson has been very effective. Kevin Johnson, Joe Dumars, and Reggie Miller, not only for perimeter shooting, but ball handling as well, as Joe Dumars can take the ball as well. Sean Kemp is getting ahead of the pack. Good heads up by Joe Dumars, seeing the whole floor to just throw it in there. And Sean Kemp has really, along with Derek Coleman, Shaquille O'Neal, and Alonzo Mourning, have really done a good job with their interior passing. Those guys normally catch and finish, but they've been looking for each other throughout this tournament. Substitution, Sergei Ivanov playing for the first time. Checked in, 31-year-old, 6'8", 225-pounder, Mikhailov. 82-40. Mikhailov has 13 points. 3 minutes in, second half. Mourning, Dumars.
a facial to Ivanov.
Once again, the pick and roll on offense is too difficult for the international team to defend. And nevertheless, Russia is one of the better teams at this, but they just can't stop the USA. Anytime they run a two-man game, they get a good shot.
Basket counts. Goaltend called. Bozanevich gets credit for the goal.
Well, Mourning with the good pick knocks off Bobkov, and Joe Dumars making sure he clears himself from the pick, and a nice bounce pass for the easy shot.
Now Sean Kemp sits down, replaced by Larry Johnson. Kemp with 14 points, and he is the highest scorer. Also 9 rebounds. Derek Coleman with 13. Shaquille O'Neal has 12 points. Mourning from way out. That's a 3 for Alonso, has come out firing. 7 points for Mourning. 87-48. The United States with the lead.
Well, it's interesting watching the USA team early on in their preliminary games, exhibition games, if you will, as most of them were. And it looked like all the players were just not comfortable with one another, shooting when they shouldn't, passing when they should. And now, after 8 games, they look very comfortable with one another and playing together as a team.
Johnson on the ball. Miller for 3. And here's Reggie again. Make it 89-48, and a 41-point lead for the United States. It's their biggest lead of the game. Bozanevich setting himself up.
Once again, good defense by Kevin Johnson. Kevin's taking a little challenge right now. He knows Bozanevich has beat him on penetration a number of times. He's keeping him in front. That time, forced him to take a bad shot. That's not Bozanevich's strong game, the perimeter shot. It's more get into the lane and make a play for somebody. Here he goes again.
Yes, got into the lane and was able to finish.
That time he made a play for himself, and that's normally what he does. He's got a very soft touch on the finish there. So it's one thing to get into the lane. It's another thing to make a good play. He does it on a pretty much of a regular basis.
Mourning. 91-50 for the United States. Back to the subject of the man with the ball, Sergei Bozanevich. The other night after the good showing against the United States, Kevin Johnson, who's guarding him right now, said that he could play in the NBA. Mikhailov hit by Mourning.
USA foul.
Alonzo Mourning called for his first foul.
14, Alonzo Mourning, his first personal.
Alonzo Mourning getting the start here in the second half has been very offensive-minded, and he knows anytime he sets a little screen and rolls to the basket, he's going to get the ball for a good shot.
And we'll be back after this from your local station.
Hi, I'm Martin Short, and you know, I love sporting events. Not just because of the sports, but because of the food you get to eat, like hot dogs and hamburgers, and of course my favorite, the slushy. You know, interesting story.
Martin Short is coming to NBC Tuesdays this fall.
Way too cold.
So, let's say you own a business. How can U.S. West Direct Yellow Pages help? Because businesses don't come with customers, you gotta go get them. So that's why advertising was invented. Now, ideally, your ad should be in every home and business in the city, in a place customers look the most, in U.S. West Direct. Think of all those people looking at your ad, and 4 out of 5 of them happen to be ready to buy. Right now, money practically burning a hole in their pockets. Beautiful. It's where to sell. U.S. West Direct.
Your Ford dealer wants to put some cash in your pocket. $500 cash direct from the factory when you buy a new Ford Aspire. Aspire is the lowest priced car in America with dual airbags. It's roomier than Civic or Metro and priced $1,300 less than Neon. Right now, with $500 cash back, a Ford Aspire is just $82.35. Drive the latest addition to Ford's family of #1 selling cars. $500 cash back on Aspire for a limited time at your local Northwest Ford dealer.
When you're responsible for big jobs like this one, you need industrial quality tools that can stand up to constant use. That's why I go to Western Tool Supply, the contractor's choice.
Save on Makita's 8 1/4-inch table saw with carbide tipped blade, only $279.99. This 4-amp portable planer with carbide blades is just $119.99. And Makita's variable speed heavy-duty polisher is just $169.99. Western Tool Supply, the contractor's choice in Salem, Albany, Portland, Tigard, and Newport.
Women search for a past someone took from them. Watch Inside Edition.
the United States, it has been a blowout right from the start. Don Nelson's team getting balanced scoring. He has been able to distribute the playing time. Yes, it's been a romp today, but there have been patches of uneven play for the U.S. throughout this tournament. We talked about that with head coach Don Nelson.
We've complicated things a little bit because if I could have had more of a set lineup, I think we would have got off to better starts all the time. But, you know, when you have added pressure to start different players, different games, it's kind of hard to get that continuity. I know Dream Team 1 did that, and I felt that this team probably shouldn't do that, but we should start a set lineup and have our subs kind of programmed when they were going to come in and so on. I think that would be our best team. But to keep everybody happy and well-balanced, that we changed back and said, you know, hey, let's change our lineup depending on the foe. They were probably going to win anyway. But it wasn't always smooth sailing. We didn't play our best basketball all the time, and part of it, I think, was because of lineups.
Don Nelson has been very quick to say that there have been no problems, no difficulties, but I still feel, Marv, that he has been very much concerned more, not so much about the starting lineup, but more about the 11th and 12th men. That's been very difficult. Steve Smith has probably been the designated 12th man. He has handled it very well, but there's also that odd guy, the 11th man, who has not gotten much playing time from game to game. And as much as the players say they just want to be a part of this, they just want to win the gold medal, they don't care who gets the minutes or the shots, players want to play. They don't want to sit. So it's very difficult for everybody concerned.
Steve Smith of the Miami Heat yet to play here this afternoon, and as you say, he has been the 12th man throughout. And the guys that have not from time to time received playing time have been Derek Coleman, who has played very well against the Russians both Friday night and tonight. Alonzo Mourning has sat a bit, as has Larry Johnson. We talked about this last week during the telecast of the U.S.-Brazil game. In Chuck Daly's case, it actually was easier because of the fact that he had a couple of injuries, so he was able to manipulate more. Larry Bird had the bad back. John Stockton was hurt. He also had one college player, and Christian Laettner, so there wasn't the pressure to get him involved. There's Isaiah Thomas, who is not available for action, although on the team because of the Achilles injury, and Tim Hardaway also not here, recovering from a torn anterior cruciate ligament in his left knee. Well, Sergei Bazarevich with 10 points now, 92-56 the score, with 13.5 remaining. In the second half, Alonzo Mourning, yes, and in count. Nosov called for the foul. But Chuck Daly, with the situation in Barcelona, able to go two set units and did not shuffle as much as Don Nelson has.
And Chuck readily admits that it was a big factor and a benefit to him having those injuries, and he was able to move Michael Jordan to the point guard position. And of course, with a Scottie Pippen on your team, he can always take the ball and handle. So the injuries to Stockton and the occasional ones to Magic Johnson didn't really affect your team. But ideally for a coach, any time of the year, you'd like to have 8 or 9 healthy players. It's always difficult for 10, 11, and 12. There might be some thinking maybe, Marv, in 1996 that they might add 4 or 2 or even 1 college player again to maybe alleviate that problem.
Nice play, give and go, and Nosov able to finish it off. Crowd reacting as Steve Smith jumped off the bench, and he's over at the scorer's table getting set to report in.
Offensive foul, number 14, Alonzo Mourning.
Offensive foul charged to Alonzo Mourning. Here comes Steve Smith.
USA substitution replacing number
4-year veteran of the NBA. Steve Smith coming on for Joe Dumars. Steve Smith, over his first 2 seasons, hard hit by injuries. This past year missed only 4 games, averaged 17 points per ball game. (95-58) United States in a blowout. That 3-point attempt by Karatsev. And he's hearing the airball chant from the crowd. The U.S. now with Mark Price and Steve Smith in the backcourt. Alonzo Mourning up front along with Larry Johnson and Dominique Wilkins. Mourning off the fake, goes to the hook. Great move by Alonzo Mourning, 97-58. And three-pointer for Sergei Barkov. He's hit 5 out of 8, 13 points.
Well, Sergei Barkov is their best outside shooter. He has been forced to take a few outside his range, but that one there at about 20 feet is just about right for him.
Well, that lead misfired. Ivanov serving up an air ball on the drive. Here's Smith with his first attack. Johnson for Wilkins. And he was held. With a foul called on Nosal. 11:34 remaining in the game.
Third personal foul.
The World Championship of Basketball is brought to you by AT&T. We help put your world within reach. By Coca-Cola Classic. Always jammin', always Coca-Cola. By Visa, it's everywhere you want to be. And by cold-filtered Miller Genuine Draft. Get out of the old, get into the cold.
You know, MCI makes it sound so easy to get big savings with those friends and family plans, but first you got to give out a list of names and numbers of your friends and family. Then MCI will try to call and sign them up, and still, anytime you call anybody not on your list, you won't save anything at all. You may even have to pay up to $36 a year in fees. Could be it's just a lot of hoopla after all.
Your true voice.
There's a place near you where the mountain climbers never touch the ground, where the bodies are made of iron and the bikes of titanium alloy. It's Performance Bicycle Shop with over 6,000 square feet of high-tech cycling gear. But if you go, bring a stump-jumping spirit and your Visa card. Because at Performance, they take cycling to the extreme, but they don't take American Express. Visa, it's everywhere you want to be.
Hey, girls, we can do that. Hey. Go on, girl. Wherever there is blue, there'll always be homework. Wherever there's a beat, there's always a drum. Whenever there is fun, there's always Coca-Cola. Always Coca-Cola, yeah.
The road to the World Championship, brought to you by Coca-Cola. Always jammin', always Coca-Cola.
Well, the World Championship of Basketball, first held in Argentina back in 1950. There have been 11 previous World Championships. U.S. has won the gold on 2 occasions, silver 3 times, 2 bronze medals. That 1986 team won the gold, coached by Lute Olson, as they knocked off the USSR in the gold medal game, led by Kenny Smith, who had 23 points. U.S. headed to the gold here today. And for the United States, the tournament began with only that 15-point win over Spain. U.S. team heard some criticism. Reggie Miller said after that game, you can't expect to show up at an arena automatically win by 35. And Spain did play very well, but since then, it's been a different story, as you can see, with the blowout wins. This past Friday, they did not have an easy time with this Russian squad, up by only 8 at the half, and then won in methodical fashion, 111-94. U.S. actually trailed at one point, 30-29 to Russia. And then on a Saturday night, last night, they walloped Greece after a slow start came on and blew out Greece in the second half. And today it has been another easy one for the U.S. 99-61 the score with 11:20 remaining.
Well, really, all of these games have been basically exhibitions, and the United States just not getting much competition. There was feeling, however, that if Croatia had been in the final game with Tony Kukoc, Dino Radja, Stojko Brankovic, an ex-Boston Celtic, that having some former NBA players, that it might be more of a competitive situation. But the way that Croatia played last night, you can see that the United States would have pretty much done the same thing to them. They just did not have the quickness, and even though it's a big front line, nothing they could do with USA's big people up front.
Croatia did come back today to beat Greece, but it was a very poor performance last night by the combination of Kukoc and Radja. Johnson getting that behind-the-back pass from Price, could not put it down. 4-on-2 for Russia. So that's up. And then the follow missed by Nosov. Back comes Pizarro.
There was another example, Marv, of Larry Johnson's inability to get up in the air with any kind of explosion. He had an opportunity in there, in the lane. He just couldn't gather his feet and go strong to the basket. Because Nosov trying to follow the shot off, and he's going to go down awkwardly here. Looks like he injured his back, stayed in the backcourt for a while.
Number 13, Shaquille O'Neal returns.
As he had a wide open lane to the basket, but just unable to control the basketball.
Foul committed by Dominique Wilkins, and Shaquille O'Neal has returned, replacing Alonzo Mourning. 15 points all in the second half. U.S. getting maximum out of the center position. Lazarevich off the mark. Combination of Derek Coleman, Shaquille O'Neal, and Alonzo Mourning have done the job. Ball goes back to Russia. The United States 102 and Russia 61. United States center combination combining for 40 of the 102 points. Nosov. And it is finished off by Bobkov. Sergei Bobkov with 15 points.
The Russians showing their passing ability and the unselfishness to keep making the extra pass to get the good shot. As we said before, they're getting flown out in this ballgame. They still do a lot of good fundamental things, and really the Russian Federation very, very pleased with their performance here. Silver medal, and really a bright future for Russian basketball. They say that their junior program is very, very strong, going to get better. They got the young player, Damani. There's Sergei Belov, the coach, and they think there's good times ahead for Russian basketball, and this is really going to help their whole situation. They now do games on television, sponsorships, so they have learned a lot from the NBA, and that has pumped a lot of life into Russian basketball.
Nice setup pass from Sergei Lazarevich to put Nosov at the free throw line.
Marv, did you notice Alexander Gamelski, I guess they call him the Red Auerbach of basketball in Russia, former coach of the Olympic gold medal winning team in Russia, doing the color analyst on their television. A blatant display of homerism. A couple of bad calls by officials. He was up waving at them.
Yeah, we were keeping an eye on him last night as we were observing the semifinal doubleheader. Here's Shaquille getting inside the basket counts and the foul. Alexander Gamelski coached the Soviet national team for many years. There he is. He capped his career with the win over the United States in the semifinals of the 88 games in Seoul. And then a victory over the Yugoslavians in the gold medal game. But he looked to be a bit on the partisan side. When calls were not going the Russian way, we saw the display by Gamelski. Let's listen in for a moment or two.
Нет, и опять Прайс забирает подбор. Носов говорит, что это его ошибка. Он просто не думал, что один мяч всего будет пробивать О'Нил. Бывают, заигрываются игроки.
Наконец-то и Ларри
Тоже двухочковый мяч. Сколько всего американцы трехочковых сегодня забили? 13 из 21.
61%, почти 62%.
Хорошую передачу на Карасева отдал Носов. Все время у американских больших руки более готовы к борьбе, чем у наших.
И мяч прилипает. Натронулся американец до мяча, значит, уже не вырвешь.
You know, Gamelski seems to have borrowed from your style now. Same intonation. Unbelievable.
I was going to ask you to translate. You've been doing remarkably well with these names.
8 minutes remaining in the game. Nosov. And the U.S. back to the offense. Open shot for Steve Smith. It's a three. And the United States with its biggest lead, now a margin of 49 points. Here comes Shaquille. He was looking to go all the way, but Nosov knocked it away. Damani getting ahead of the field. Dimitri Damani with 13 points.
What an experience this has to be for the 19-year-old Dimitri Damani. He's going to be a sophomore at St. Joseph's. But Jack Ramsey and Jimmy Lynham, former St. Joseph's coaches, were over in Moscow about 4 years ago doing a clinic, and they spotted him on the team, the group of players that they used to demonstrate to the coaches, and they spotted him right away as a fundamentally sound basketball player who did everything well. They asked the Russian coaches, thought he might want to play college basketball in USA, and they all said yes.
And that basket will count. This is called a goaltend against Shaquille O'Neal. Sergei Vazadevich getting credit for the bucket.
Keep in mind, in international play, you're allowed to take the ball off the rim, but not allowed to touch it on its downward flight.
We're going to Paris. First, Francois has to get our shipment. Love the designs, and then we're going to Paris. Where is my package? Francois? We're going to Paris.
FedEx can confirm delivery of international packages as quickly over there as it can over here.
Francois, see Bardin signed for that shipment at 9:22.
Pardon, come to Paris?
Paris? Possibly. Let me check my schedule.
What can I get for $2.99 these days? I can get stereo equipment or a Big Mac extra value meal. I could get some fat gear or a 2 cheeseburger extra value meal. Now that McDonald's has 4 great $2.99 extra value meals, I have a choice. I can get half a pair of socks or a whole meal, like a quarter pounder with cheese or a McChicken extra value meal. 4 great $2.99 extra value meals to choose from.
What you want is what you get.
So who needs socks?
At McDonald's today.
Just down Sunset and up the incredible California coast is Wolfgang Puck's latest culinary creation, granita. It's a touch of the Mediterranean with a dash of the Pacific. And if you go there, bring your appetite for travel and your Visa card.
It's Belbeck.
Because Wolfgang's grilled prawns will take you to the Mediterranean, but granita won't take American Express.
I love to cook, and I love to eat even more.
Visa, it's everywhere you want to be.
The AFC Air Force, Montana, Marino, Elway, Kelly. The NFL on NBC. Nothing's more American.
Monday, you're seeing double-double. Double-double the laugh. Double-double the fun. 2 shows, 1 big hour. Catch a double-double Fresh Prince, NBC Monday.
Ahmad Rashad back in Toronto at Sky Dome. Now, Shaquille O'Neal has done just about everything during this World Championship of Basketball. Here you see him, well, that's a goaltending call, but the other day, Shaquille O'Neal made a bet. Some of the people get around here by rickshaw. He made a bet with this young lady.
You can't pull me faster for 1 block.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
All right. Do it.
And obviously, I lost the bet.
Shaquille lost the bet. He ended up pulling the rickshaw. But, you know, it's been really good listening to the Russian commentators because for the first time today, Marv, I've heard the Russian names pronounced correctly.
Ahmad, how would you know?
I speak Russian.
6:40 remaining. 114-69. The United States with the lead, and a foul is called. Off the shot attempt by Bobkov. And Marley called for his first. A non-shooting foul. And Bobkov will throw in. Mikhailov back on the floor. Bobkov. Marley was picked off. Nice give and go, and Mikhailov now with 15 points, 114-71. Marv Albert, Matt Dukas, and Ahmad Rashad from Sky Dome in Toronto. Pretty fast. Larry Johnson came up short.
hate to keep harping on it, but Larry Johnson's just unable to jump right now. He has not complained about any back soreness or any kind of injury, but he's going to have to work very hard the rest of this summer to get ready for Charlotte's training camp to start to get his legs back. Both teams, Mark, whatever they run and pick and roll, look at this, Shaquille. Forced to change his shot. Shied away a little. Shaq's got to be tired of dunking.
You have to discuss that shot with him after the game. He did adjust.
The sixth team foul.
8-0 run here by Russia.
Pick and roll situation. Dominique gets a little penetration and a little kickoff to Larry Johnson as he has excellent position and kind of just lost the ball out of his hands, but just unable to get enough lift to dunk that ball in traffic, which is what really a 6'7" player has to do on some occasions. In the past, you remember Adrian Dantley, a Mark Aguirre, same type, body, size, didn't necessarily finish those shots off with dunks, but had that knack of using their body to shield off defenders and good touch around the basket. But Larry Johnson can do that, but he also can get up there and dunk the ball.
Bazadar able to hit the 2 free throws after the foul by Steve Smith. And the United States now leads 114-75 with 5.5 remaining in the game. Now Shaquille O'Neal able to hammer it down. 16 for Shaquille.
That's a little bit of explosion there as Shaq, after a shy away, little fadeaway shot, which I'm sure he wasn't happy with under any circumstance. It's one of the great things about Shaq throughout these games is he has come out in a very professional way and played hard, wanting to put a show on for the fans and just go out and play good basketball. And he has really gained a lot, I'm sure, from this experience. And he has enjoyed it and would love to be a part of Dream Team 3.
Yes, he has put up some very impressive numbers despite the sore back. Shaquille 10 of 11 against the Russians on Friday night. He has been unstoppable right throughout this tournament. Steve Smith trying to set up Larry Johnson, who was pushed from behind.
Team foul.
Well, Larry Johnson finding Shaquille, just waiting on that little doorstep there. Nice little shovel pass, and Shaq just making no mistake here in a little bit of traffic, throwing it down hard.
That foul called on Mikhailov, his 4th, and it's Shaquille again.
Shaquille.
He's now the high scorer with 18. The United States leading 118-75. On their way to making it 8 out of 8 in this World Championship of Basketball. And they will be celebrating the winning of the gold within the next 15-20 minutes. So the ball goes back to the United States. Dominique Wilkins, Larry Johnson, Shaquille O'Neal, Dan Marley, Steve Smith on the floor now for Coach Don Nelson. And Shaquille off the double team, battling for another opportunity, but called for a travel. So that basket will not count. 3 minutes and 59 seconds remaining in the game. And a timeout has been taken.
And timeout. We're about to begin.
The World Championship of Basketball is brought to you by IBM. There's never been a better time to do business with IBM. By Nike, who encourages you to participate in the lives of America's youth. By AT&T, we help put your world within reach. And by McDonald's, what you want is what you get at McDonald's today.
From the courts of the NBA, to the courts of the Grand Slams, to the World's Championship greens. It's IBM, who manages the complex network of systems that speeds millions of stats and scores to the coaches, players, fans, and media. Instantly. Information that puts a little more in the game for everybody.
Fruit and Fiber has a great new taste, and we just can't keep it under wraps.
I got a great new taste.
Now with crispy multigrain flakes.
I got a great new taste.
More raisins, more walnuts, more dates.
Got a lot of great new taste.
And oat clusters with a touch of brown sugar.
Oh yeah, I got a great new taste.
A new taste so delicious, it shows. The new Post Fruit and Fiber cereal. It's fruit and fiber.
And a great new taste.
the time, Muggsy, a man of small stature, was to battle the giant named Goliath. Armed only with an incredible thirst to prove himself, Muggsy, fleet of foot, did circle and confuse Goliath, and thus slew the mighty giant. All the people celebrated. Sprite flowed freely, thus it was written, height is nothing, thirst is everything, obey your thirst.
Thursdays on NBC, it began with Hill Street Blues. Then there was L.A. Law. This fall, from Michael Crichton, author of Jurassic Park, comes the next great landmark television drama, ER. Continuing the Thursday tradition, ER, this fall on NBC.
Well, the gold medals standing by, and they will be presented to the United States. Following this victory, a 118-75 lead for the U.S. team. And apparently the guys doing everything, even helping distribute some of the gifts during the timeout. Derek Coleman, Reggie Miller, firing them to the crowd.
Very unusual. Derek Coleman, a left-hander, winding up with the right arm and throwing it, well, not into the upper deck, but at least to the mezzanine level. I guess he's a natural right-hander.
Matt analyzing gift throwing.
That's where we are.
This is what it has all come to as we approach 3.5 minutes remaining in the game. And Mikhailov in the hot hand, 13 from the field, 19 points. U.S. up 118-77. Dominique Wilkins on a back tap, but it's handled by Mikhailov. Lazarevich is fouled.
USA foul, the 7th team foul of the period.
It's called on Steve Smith. A look at the assistant coaches on the left. Rick Majerus, head coach of the University of Utah, where he's had great success. Don Chaney, now head man of the Detroit Pistons. And Pete Gillen on the right, head coach at Providence College after turning around the program at Xavier of Ohio.
And Don Nelson using his assistant coaches in those workouts at Moody Bible in Chicago in the workout phase, letting them get involved with the players. Really a big thrill, in particular for Pete Gillen, who's, of course, involved in some international basketball, sports festival and whatnot, but always a thrill for the college coaches to work with the pro players. Rick Majerus, a former assistant to Don Nelson in Milwaukee some years back, and, of course, Don Chaney as the head coach of Detroit, working with pro players all the time.
Here's Mark Price. Three is from downtown. He has 12 points in all. U.S. leading 121-78. And a foul called on Marley.
USA foul, the 8th team foul of the period.
So the United States is over the foul limit.
Number 9, Dan Marley.
Well, at the Barcelona Olympics, the average margin of victory just under 44 per game. And as you can see here in Toronto, coming into today, the average margin just under 37 points per game. The U.S. now leading 121-80, so it is a 41-point deficit.
Everybody's standing on the other side of the floor saying, Steve Smith, all right, you've been wanting to play. Now do something. But he couldn't go by his guy.
Dominique hammers a three. 16 for Dominique. The United States, 124, and Russia, 80. Most points scored by the United States in this tournament, 134 against Puerto Rico. Sergei Lazarevich. Here's Dan Marley.
Number 9, Dan Marley.
A sensational shooting performance by the United States. They hit their first 10 shots, connected on 16 of their first 17, and now Russia on fire. Sergei Babkov once again. He has 20 points, 127-85, with just under 2 minutes remaining in the game. Larry Johnson from way out.
Larry Johnson for 3.
United States shooting 60% for the game. They are 50 of 83. And from downtown, 18 of 32. Mikhailov continues the torrid shooting pace. Mikhailov has 21. As this second half has presented extensive garbage time, although I don't think that the Russian team looks at it in the same manner. Smith able to handle that pass off Mikhailov. Goes behind the back. Johnson for Wilkins. 132-87 with 1 minute remaining. Nice play by Price. Knocking it aside.
I kind of like this by the Raiders. He's out there still playing when he has the ball in the middle of the break, still looking to attack the rim, make a play. I think he's helped himself throughout this tournament and does have a chance to get picked up by somebody in the NBA. He has been impressive.
He has been playing professionally in Turkey, a veteran of national play, and the leader on this team, Mopkov, with 22 points. 132-89 the score. Down to a half minute remaining. Steve Smith. So the United States on its way to the expected. Winning the gold here in this World Championship of Basketball. And now hearing it from the crowd, Smith pushes it back out from Marley for three. Yes. 135-89. So this represents the most points scored by the United States in this 11-day tournament. Time has run out. Wilkins will count. Apparently, it does. I think that was a friendly call, but it really does not matter. The United States with a 137-91 victory over Russia. So the U.S. team celebrating. Now the Russians and the United States players congratulating each other. The United States has won the gold. We'll be back with the announcement of the most valuable player of the tournament right after these words.
The 1994 World Championship.
Be sure to get the inside stuff all summer long on NBC.
Snow was falling on the ground. What did I do? I went out and shoveled the snow. Made me a path on the basketball court. Had my mittens on, I'm shooting. You know, oh, it's raining outside. Huh? Raining?
Put on a coat.
So what? The door was shut in your face sometimes, but you still keep going. You still keep going.
NBA Hoops basketball cards from Skybox. When you dream it, see it, go after it.
There's something happening here. What it is exactly clear. Have to stop and chill. What's that sound? Everybody look what's going down.
Get out of the old and get into the cold.
There are places you can go where birds aren't the only ones that fly. And fish aren't the only ones underwater. Where you can take a ride in the wild, or just a wild ride. But if you go to any of the Busch Gardens or SeaWorld parks, bring your sense of adventure and your Visa card. Because every one of these parks will take your breath away, but none will take American Express. Visa, it's everywhere you want to be.
The USA Basketball Most Valuable Player of the World Championship of Basketball. Brought to you by Visa. It's everywhere you want to be.
As part of Visa's continuing effort to support amateur athletics, Visa proud to donate $3,000 to the U.S. Olympic team in Shaquille O'Neal's name in order to help further the development of U.S. Olympians present and future. And Shaquille O'Neal has been named the most valuable player of the tournament. He averaged 17 minutes a game and averaged 18 points per game, better than a point a minute. And he is alongside Ahmad.
All right, Marv, thank you. Shaquille, you had a wonderful time here, didn't you?
We just came out and had fun. There was a tremendous amount of pressure on us because of of the high standards that the Green Team wants set. And we just came out, played one game at a time, and we got it done.
Yeah, but every night you had the right enthusiasm. Really looked like you were enjoying playing in this championship.
Well, I just wanted to come out and just be a role player, do my job, come off the bench, get a few dunks, with some free throws, block some shots, and just win the gold medal.
Yeah, but you took it even another step. One time dribbling all the way down the court to slam. Another time a little fade away from the outside, showing more of your repertoire.
Yeah, I was just, out here having fun. And like I said, we just took one game at a time, and we got it done.
What about getting a chance to know all these other guys on the Dream Team? That had to be a nice experience.
It was fun. I hung out with these guys for 2 months. You get to learn them on and off the court. But it's back to business now.
You didn't show them everything, did you?
No, not at all.
All right, congratulations to you.
Happy birthday, Wes.
All right, man, the gold medal, Shaquille O'Neal. All right, back to you, Marv.
Thank you, Ahmad. Shaquille, 18 points this afternoon. The high man for the United States, Dominique Wilkins, with 20. Derek Coleman got off to the fast start. He had 13. We'll have some more post-game festivities here in Toronto in a moment, but right now let's check in with Mary Ann Grabovoy.
Welcome back to our update studio. A quick run through the major sports news of the day. The baseball strike is now in its third day with no end in sight. There were no negotiations today, but Yankees owner George Steinbrenner did offer some comments in Springfield, Illinois. Steinbrenner feels the owners should be more involved in the negotiations, and he mentioned that to Acting Commissioner Bud Selig.
I made a suggestion to Bud, that's all it was. He's a great leader. He's done a great job for baseball, and I'm perfectly willing to leave it in his hands and have him do it. The suggestion I made was to put owners at the table. That's all. It was a suggestion. And I wasn't at the last meeting, so I really don't know, and I really couldn't comment. But gag orders never in the past have meant much to me, but I will tell you this. With Bud Selig, it does, because I think he's a very capable and very good leader.
Moving to golf, the final major of the year on the men's tour is in the books, and the world's best player, Nick Price, has now won consecutive majors. Today he won the PGA Championship at Southern Hills in Tulsa by 6 strokes over Corey Pavin. Price shot a final round 67. Price's win means that for the first time, no American golfer won any of the 4 majors in a year. Price is from Zimbabwe, Olafable is from Spain, and U.S. Open champ Ernie Els is from South Africa. And finally, Martina Navratilova announced today that she won't be competing in the U.S. Open, which starts 2 weeks from tomorrow. The 37-year-old Navratilova thus closes a career with 18 single titles in Grand Slam events. That's all from New York. We'll send it back to Toronto right after these messages.
I hear you in my heart. Just let me hear loud and clear the real you coming through your true voice.
Miller Genuine Draft, Bobby Ray Hall, IndyCar. This year, he's ready flying.
In 2 weeks, there's more great preseason football action on NBC. Jeff Hostetler leads the L.A. Raiders' high-powered offense against the tenacious D of the Houston Oilers. It's their final tune-up before the regular season kicks off. The intensity level rises August 27th. The NFL on NBC. Nothing's more American.
Well, this is the scene 2 summers ago in Barcelona. The 1992 United States Olympic team, Dream Team 1, as they have been labeled in the gold medal presentation.
And now the top 3 teams in the 1994
Nice moments in Barcelona. Magic Johnson celebrating the moment. And then the national anthem played. And in a moment, the United States team here in the World Championship of Basketball will be presented with their gold.
And even though a lot of those players accomplished quite a bit, MVPs, and a couple of NBA championships, what a special feeling receiving that gold medal on a very, very special team. And a tremendous feeling, even though, again, they overpowered everybody, there still is something special about being the first great team that accomplishes something. And now this is the second great team that has done the same thing, and the first to win the gold at the World Championships as a group of NBA professionals. And they feel quite good about themselves, and deservedly so.
The United States capping it off in the championship game here with a 137-91 victory over Russia. United States shooting 60% from the field. They hit their first 10 shots to get it going, 16 of 17, getting balanced scoring, and here they are making their way back onto the floor and hearing it from this crowd of better than 32,000. That is a record crowd for the World Championship of Basketball. Ceremony at the Sky Dome in Toronto. And that man, Shaquille O'Neal of the Orlando Magic, who was unstoppable right throughout the tournament, named Most Valuable Player.
And it's amazing, Marv. He only started in 2 of the 8 games. So it shows that a role player and a bench player can get recognized for his accomplishments. And Shaq did not disappoint anybody. He was terrific.
Shaquille, as he mentioned to Ahmad Rashad, enjoying himself as he usually does right throughout the week. He finished up today coming off the bench with 18 points. The United States 137 and Russia 91. A 46-point blowout.
This comes with a much more
by winning 8 of 8 here in Toronto. Marv Albert, along with Matt Gukas and Ahmad Rashad, saying so long and thanks for tuning in.
In a new world, a new standard of excellence.
Tonight.